32 hours and counting until the NFL draft. Let's jump into this. What is up, Finn fans? Yes, like I said, 32 hours and counting into the draft. This video will be coming out noon on Wednesday, 32 hours before the draft. So it's about 31 and a half hours before the start of my live stream. So I hope to see you guys there tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. live streaming the draft. But yes, 32 hours until the draft. 32 hours until we can stop worrying. Is it Tua? Is it not Tua? Is it, Isaiah Simmons? Is it Andrew Thomas? Is it Mekhi Becton? Is it Jedrick Wills? Who is it? Are the Dolphins trading up? Are they trading down? What are they doing at 18? All of that goes away because we sit there and we watch, we hope, and we pray. So this video, I'm going to be talking about the Miami Dolphins draft strategy. I'm going to be talking about what I'm looking at when I watch them draft. I'm going to talk about a lot of the things I'm noticing with fans, a lot of the things I'm reading on Facebook pages, a lot of the things I'm reading in my Twitter, things that are being tweeted to me, things that are being commented below. And we're just going to talk about the draft and what they are doing. I don't know why I said doing like that, but I lost my breath because I'm a big dumb. Before I jump into that stuff, like usual, we're going to get to your trivia. I'm recording this Tuesday. You're watching it Wednesday at noon. But a real quick shout out to Joe. Pop it up. Joe Holt got himself some merch. If you want to grab yourself some, I got the t-shirt on just to show it. If you want to grab you some, it's linked below. I got hoodies and t-shirts, all that stuff. I'm looking into getting hats made, but as of right now, I don't have hats made. So thank you, Joe. And if you did get some, and when it comes, be sure to send me a picture. I would love to shout you guys out, show your picture, and thank you so much for that. Other thing, again, before I get into trivia, there was some breaking news that happened yesterday around, I would say, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Rob Gronkowski comes out of retirement, tells the New England Patriots, hey, I want to go to Tampa Bay and play with his boyfriend, Tom Brady. So the New England Patriots said, sure, let's see what we can pull off. They call up Tampa. Hey, Bruce Arians, these two lovebirds want to be back together. Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, his beautiful wife want to be back together, kissing on the beaches of Tampa Bay. They make a move. So essentially, Rob Gronkowski is being sent to Tampa. What Tampa is sending back is a fourth, and they're sending Rob Gronkowski in a seventh. So Tampa gets a Gronk, and a seventh, and the New England Patriots get a fourth. It's become official. A lot of people saying it was all speculated on his physical, but it became official. And a fun fact, he is still the 24/7 champion. If you watched WrestleMania, which wrestling lately has just been I just can't, it's hard to watch. It really is. That Bray Wyatt, John Cena match at WrestleMania was really good. But he's still the 24/7 champ, so we'll see how that all pans out. But yeah, Rob Gronkowski is now back with his husband in Tampa Bay. They're going to be smooching on the beach. So let's jump into this trivia, and I'm going to get into my spiel talking about everything having to do with the draft and the Miami Dolphins. So what round, we're talking draft now, in what round in the 1983 draft did the Dolphins select wide receiver Mark Clayton? What round was Mark Clayton selected in the Miami Dolphins 1983 draft selection? So let's jump into this and let's talk draft. Miami Dolphins, 14 rounds, 3 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 third, 1 fourth, 3 5s, 1 6, 3 7s. I know it off the top of my head because I've had to say it time and time again. This is the first time in Miami Dolphins history that they have had 3 first-round picks. They've had 2 before. This is the first time they've had 3. Now, a lot of what's happening and a lot of what's going on with us as fans is we want players. We want to pick specific players. Either they're from our team in college that we love, that we went to that school, that we've followed them for so long, or they're just one of the best. In our minds, in our research, they're one of the best, and we want the Miami Dolphins to pick them up. My whole point of this is to talk to you guys about what I can see the Dolphins doing. Now, the Dolphins did a lot in free agency. They addressed a lot in free agency, but mostly defense. 2 pass rushers, a corner, a top-notch corner. They got about 2 linebackers, and a safety. The other linebacker, Eladon, and the safety from he's going to be a special teamer. We got from the Bengals. Those are going to be special teamers depth guys. The top guys, Kyle Van Noy, Agba, Shaq Lawson, Byron Jones, those are going to be starters, right? They did a lot on defense. They signed about 10 free agents, most of them on defense. They did bring in Ted Karras, and they did bring in Eric Flowers, but they didn't really do much other than that and Jordan Howard on offense. So I honestly think going into this draft, I think that they're going to be focusing on offense a good amount. Is it a quarterback? I don't know. No one knows. And that is the thing that the Dolphins are doing the best. One of the best is everyone is waiting. Everyone is waiting on the Dolphins. And I said this before the season ended. I think like 3 or 4 weeks before the season ended. I said this. I said the offseason and the draft is going to be the Miami Dolphins offseason and the Miami Dolphins draft. It's not the NFL anymore because everyone wants to know what the Dolphins are doing with the most cap space. And they all found out by making $1 million moves. That's for my wrestling fans. Byron Jones, Kyle Van Noy, Shaq Lawson, Agba, Jordan Howard, Eric Flowers. Making moves. $1 million moves. Now the draft is here. Like I said, 32 hours and counting. Less than 32 now that you're watching this, and we're about 7 minutes into the video. 14 draft picks, 3 in the first round. Everyone wants to know the Dolphins are going to dictate this draft. They're going to dictate this draft because they have the draft picks. They have the capital to move where they want, do what they want, however they want. You got 6 picks in the first 3 rounds. I will say after round 3, you're going to wait a bit because our 4th rounder is our comp pick for Juwan James, which should have been a 3rd. Miami should have had 7 picks in the first 3 rounds. Should have been 3 firsts, 2 2s, and 2 3s, but that whole shebang. So it's a wait. It's going to be a huge wait from 3 to 4, from pick 3 to 4. I honestly see them taking some of their 5s. They have 3 5s, 1 6, 3 7s, and start moving up. I do not expect the Miami Dolphins to draft all 14 draft picks. Does that entail them trading back and accumulating more 2021 draft picks? Possibility. I will talk about that in a second too. But when it comes to this draft, the Dolphins dictate it. Now, I honestly think I have my speculations and I have an idea of where I'd like them to pick, but you guys know I have about 6 positions that if they address them in the first 4 rounds, I am happy with the draft and they could do whatever they want with round 5, 6, and 7. I don't care. Quarterback. A lot of people don't think the Dolphins need a quarterback. A lot of people think they need to ride with Josh Rosen. I would like to see, now this is my standpoint on the quarterback situation. I want the best quarterback out there. I want whoever can win us the games. If it ends up being Josh Rosen, cool. I will have people tell me, I told you so. All these Josh Rosen fans, all these guys who want him to succeed, and you guys know who you are. Cool. I would love to get an I told you so on that because then that means we found our future quarterback. But I'm always one to bring in competition. So quarterback, running back. Yes, we have Howard. Other than that, we have Laird. We have Gaskins. I want another running back. I want a young running back we could build around. We need offensive linemen. So I'm thinking tackle and guard or tackle and tackle. That's what I'm thinking. So there's 4 there. I want a safety. One of you guys commented below in my last video, why do you need a safety when you have Bobby McCain and Eric Rowe? I prefer Bobby McCain as a slot corner. I also don't see Bobby McCain being on the team much longer, and I don't want to be in a scenario where Bobby McCain moves on and then all of a sudden we need a safety. Draft one. 5. And the number 6 position, I'd like to get that big Vince Wilfork, big defensive tackle in the middle of that D-line. Now, I'm not saying Christian Wilkins is bad. I'm not saying Gottschall is the bad. And we had, like I said, Agba, Shaq Lawson. We have Zeiler, the steal we got from last year. We have guys on this defensive line that can produce, but I want that big boy. I want that big boy that on first down, you're going to try to run it down our throats, and this big man is just going to sit there like a rock and just eat up tackles. So that's what I want. Those are the 6 I want. And if the Dolphins can address that in the first 4 rounds, I don't care what they do. At that point, I'm like, we won this draft. A plus. It also depends on who, though. And that's where I'm going to get to talking about us as fans, right? A lot of us get angry with each other. A lot of us get judgy with each other, name calling, because certain fans want certain things. Hey, I want Tua. You're dumb. Why would you want this injury-prone quarterback who did nothing, who was on a perfect team that never played anyone good, and he sucks? You're dumb. You don't know what you're talking about. I want Herbert, or I want to ride with Rosen. Why? He sucks. Look, he's had 2 years on 2 different teams. He hasn't done anything, blah, blah, blah. And then there's the fighting starts, and then the name-calling, idiot. And we got to realize something. We are Miami Dolphin fans. I also read a lot of people saying, if the Dolphins don't take so-and-so, I'm done. Come on. Listen. We can speculate all that we want, and I love it. It's the best part of all this. It's the best part leading up to the draft, the speculation, the talk, the banter, all that stuff. But in the end of the day, it doesn't matter. There's 2 people that are going to make this move, and that is Chris Grier and Brian Flores. There's nothing we say and nothing we do to make that move. If Chris Grier and Brian Flores honestly think that, okay, Tua, his injury history is too much, take him off the board, we're not going to take him regardless if he's there at 5, 18, 26, it don't matter, we're not going to take him, then that's the decision they made. There's some teams that I'm hearing that have already done that have taken Tua off the board because they don't like his injury history and because they can't give him a physical with what's going on in the world. They've taken him off. So there's a possibility that Dolphins pass him at 5. You're going to have the Ted Ginn, Brady Quinn situation where you have a whole fan base losing their marbles. In hindsight, it was the better pick. And then all of a sudden he might be there at 18. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, we can get him again? There's that. Also, just real quick, I want to talk about that injury history thing. And it goes into the whole thing of the draft. We don't know. We could take players who are prospected, who are graded out, who showed film and everything to be the next best thing, and then they don't pan out. That's the other thing with the draft. You might want Jerry Jeudy. He might suck. He might blow all his ACLs, all 5 of them, the one especially in his left butt cheek, and just suck and never pan out for anything. But in college, he was so good, Tim Tebow. Or in college, they perform. Why do they suck so bad? It's the coaching. Sometimes it just doesn't translate. Same thing goes with injuries, right? You have players like Frank Gore and Curtis Martin injured in college. Frank Gore had 3 knee injuries. He had an ACL tear, he had a meniscus tear, and then he had another ACL tear in college. Frank Gore is a durable man that is still playing the game. Curtis Martin only missed 8 games in his career and missed almost all of his last year in college with injuries. So you have these players that have had injury-riddled college career come into the NFL, barely miss a game. But then you have players like Jake Long, and there's some other guys that I can name that barely injured in college come into the NFL, and they just constantly get injured because it's a different world. So when it comes to that, and then when it comes to these draft picks, it's a wait and see game. Like, a lot of people want these draft picks to instantly jump off the board, instantly day one, be the next Adrian Peterson, be the next, Dan Marino, setting records, second year in. Oh my God, look how great this guy is. But sometimes it takes a minute. Sometimes it takes a different team. Sometimes it takes a different setup. Sometimes it just takes the person time to learn. And that's why a lot of people who talk about Josh Rosen, I'm not saying you're wrong and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I want to bring in competition. I'm always down to bring in competition. So if you're going to say, no, don't do that, don't bring in anyone, let Josh Rosen start, that's the same thing that happened with Ryan Tannehill, and that's the same thing that made the person complacent. I'm not doing that anymore. So yes, Josh Rosen might be the next best thing, but I'm still bringing in guys to compete with him. Hey, is it a 5th round pick? We got 3 firsts. Why not use one of them as a quarterback, right? So there's that, right? We as fans really want to talk about the team, really want to talk about what they're doing, what they should do. If they don't do that, I'm pissed, but you got to trust them. And one of you guys commented this perfectly. Joshua Murphy says, what if we're wrong about Flores? We've had fallen in love with coaches before only to realize we hate them later. And he ain't wrong. And you know for a fact I'm the type of guy who I'd rather be surprised than let down. Lower expectations. You put all your eggs in one basket, you're going to get hurt and you're going to get pissed for the wrong reasons. Tony Soprano, 2008. Great. We won the division, took it over. Tom Brady wasn't there. Tom Brady's not there now. Great. 2009, sucked. 2010, worse. 2016, great. We won. We got a wild card spot. We actually clinched it where week 17 didn't even matter. 2017, injuries, hurricane, unlucky. 2018, y'all know what happened. So I agree, but you got to first give the man the chance, but you also lower that expectation, but you also got to lower the expectation on the draft picks and being so dedicated to one player, right? Before I'm done and before, we move on, I'm going to address something. But I just want to talk about Chris Grier and Brian Flores. First off, this is Brian Flores' second draft, Chris Grier's second draft with Brian Flores. Chris Grier's been the GM since 2016, but you also have to put a little asterisk next to it because he had Mike Tannenbaum and Adam Gase. And yes, you could say, hey, he took over the draft. The draft is under him. Yes, but a head coach dictates who he wants to coach, who he wants on the team. So yes, Chris Grier can say, oh, this player and that player, but then if Adam Gase is like, no, but he'll fit my system and this is the guy I want, head coach gets the last call, especially when the head coach has control of the 53-man roster like Adam Gase. So last year, in my eyes, was Chris Grier's first year drafting on his own, working with Brian Flores. This is their second year. This is the second year Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie are there. Reggie McKenzie came in a little bit later last year. Marvin Allen was there kind of during the scouting process. I like that. I like what Reggie McKenzie and Marvin Allen have done. I like the fact that Chris Grier brought these guys in because he knew he lacked certain aspects of his scouting ability, and he brought in these guys, like I talked about with Marvin Allen. Josh Allen, Tremaine Edwards, Dee Ford, Marcus Peters, Chris Jones, Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes, undrafted Albert Wilson. Those are all guys that Marvin Allen helped bring into the NFL. So it's smart for Chris Grier to realize, hey, I need some help, and let me bring in some of the best in the NFL to help me. But like I said, guys, it really all dictates and it all depends on what the coach and what the GM do. Now, a lot of you guys say to me, you haven't given us your definite answer at number 5. You're not saying who you want at number 5. And here's the reason why, right? I always tell you, hey, if the Dolphins take Tua at 5, I'll be happy with it. I'm not trading up. That's always been my definite answer. I'm not trading up from 5. I'm staying at 5. I don't care if Joe Burrow, Chase Young, I'm not moving up from 5. But you guys always say to me, where's your definite answer at 5? Doug is always wish-washy. He never gives his definite answer, which isn't necessarily true. I've given you about 3 guys I want at 5. I've given you about 2 offensive tackles, and I've said I'd prefer Tua over Justin Herbert. I prefer him. Yes, the injury scares the crap out of me, but we have 2 other first-round picks to address other possibilities. Take a chance on this guy, and he doesn't pan out. Hey, you got more. You got 2 first rounds next year. But here's my answer to the guys who say, where's your definite answer? You keep giving us wish-washy answers, or you keep giving us more than one player at 5. It's because when you put your eggs in one basket, when you put all your hopes and dreams into one player, when you take all of your feelings, I guess you could say, and say it's Tua or die. If the Dolphins don't take Tua, I'm done. At pick 5, if they don't take the player you want, which there's a good 50% chance they don't take the player you want, your rest of your draft is ruined. And normally with the draft, you have your one pick and then they're done, and then you're pissed and your night's ruined because they didn't take the player you want. Whereas now they have 2 more draft picks. You're pissed. They didn't take Tua. They took Justin Herbert. I can't believe it. I hate this team. They took a wide receiver at number 5. This team is the worst. I can't stand it. I hate them. I don't do that to myself anymore. After 2016, I stopped getting my hopes up, and that's why I have that motto is I'd rather be surprised than let down. So I have my options opened. If they take Tua at 5, I'm good with that. I like the upside with Tua. I like his football skills. I like his playability. I don't like the injury history. If they take Mekhi Becton, I like him a lot. I like his athleticism. I like his size. I like his skill, and I like his play at left tackle. The weight issue scares me. If they take Andrew Thomas, I'm good with that. I really like him at left tackle. If they take Jedrick Wills, that one I'm a little because he has never played left tackle, but he's a really good right tackle. What are we doing at left tackle? If they take Justin Herbert, I'm not happy, but I could see the upside. I can see where he can grow. Yes, you might call me an optimistic person, and I look at everything. No, because if you put yourself in a situation where all you're going to do is get mad, it's not fun. And this is fun. And regardless of what the Dolphins do, I'm still going to root for this team, and I'm still going to love this team. So in a nutshell, to wrap up everything I've been rambling on, 14 draft picks. This is the draft that is going to change the future of this team, either for the good or for the bad. It all depends on if they hit 5 of these 14 draft picks. They get 5 starters, 5 stars out of this draft. This draft will turn this team around and make it the dynasty for the next however long we ride this sucker. And they're doing it right by bringing in these young free agents, and they're doing it right by having 2 2s and 2 1s next year. So it's up to Brian Flores, it's up to Chris Grier to do it right. Chris Grier knows that. He even said it in his press conference. I need to hit this one out of the park. I need to hit some home runs because the future of this team depends on it. So he put enough pressure on himself that I feel like we don't need to put any more on him. But be sure to comment below, guys. Let me know what you think about my draft strategy, what you think about what I have to say about this team and how they're going about the draft, how I want the 6 people that I want them to address in any order they can. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. I kind of already got to comment of the day with Joshua, talking about Brian Flores and talking about the team. Comment below. Let me know. I really love reading your guys' comments. The Wonderlic video I did, a lot of you guys were like, you really don't think the Wonderlic's that important? When it comes to football, I don't. So this will be the comment of the day because it's kind of addressing all the comments I got in the Wonderlic in a nutshell. Wonderlic really kind of shows your cognitive and it shows your thought process, but it doesn't necessarily, in my mind, transfer over that well to football because this Wonderlic, I took it, like I said, I got a 41 on it. A lot of the questions don't really help me to understand if this guy can look off this safety, if this guy can understand where the blitz is coming from, if this guy can read the playbook, audible his guys, shift position, shift protection. It doesn't really show me that. It shows, if this guy can do math, this guy knows English. It doesn't really show me that much. Now, will it show me if the person has a little bit of an IQ? Yeah, but also Fitzpatrick got a 48. I got a 41. Are you telling me that I'm only 7 points lower than a Harvard grad? This dyslexic right here, you gonna tell me that? But like I said, guys, be sure to comment below. I'm really interested to see what you guys think about what I had to say about the team, about the draft, about how they're going about the draft, who I think they should target, all that stuff. So be sure to comment below. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter. Tweeted out a lot of things as soon as the news broke about Gronkowski. I tweeted that sucker out. So be sure to comment below and follow me on Twitter. Also, be sure to check out the Bit Boys and my second channel. I'm going to be putting out a new video for my second channel probably today, later on today, probably like 1 or 2 o'clock. So be sure to go over, check that out, hit that subscribe button if you didn't yet. Also, check out the Bit Boys, new gaming going on over there. Other than that, give this video a thumbs up. At this point, we're almost about 31 hours away from the draft, guys. Tomorrow, 7:30 p.m., I will be live for the whole draft. Well, for most of the draft. I'm doing all the Dolphins first round picks, and then I feel like they're not going to trade back into the first, but you never know. I'm going to be live for the whole draft, so I hope to see you guys tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Draft starts at 8, but it's probably really not going to start till about like 8:15. It's going to be a long night, fellas. Be sure to check out DolphinsTalk.com, great site I'm associated with. Also, hit that subscribe button. If you don't hit the subscribe button, you don't hit the bell, you won't know when I go live tomorrow for the draft. It's here, fellas. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, and I will see you guys tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the NFL Draft. Oh, it feels good to say that. But other than that, like usual, stay classy. Fins up.